Hi guys, welcome or welcome back again to another GC video. How are you guys doing? I miss you and I know you're doing absolutely fantastic. Today I have a high profile personality. You know guys, I always do. I bring you juicy information that will help you transition from your home country to other countries. And today I have an Irish nurse. She is very knowledgeable in the Irish process. She is a mental health nurse. She's got a YouTube channel. Today, she's going to be giving us all the details that you need to know to be able to migrate from your home country to Ireland. So without much ado, guys, let's go right into the video. I'll let my guest introduce herself, give us a little bit of background about herself before we go into the questions for today.
Hi, Becca. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I must say, before I introduce myself, I really want to appreciate you because I quite remember last year I was back home and I was just looking at your channels. I was looking at most of your videos and I never knew that today I also have the opportunity to also come on your channel to also share little knowledge about something. And I really want to appreciate this opportunity because you have a very beautiful soul. Thank you so much. My name is Lucinda Momo Sapon, currently using the name Nurse Momo. I'm originally from Ghana. I was practicing in Ghana for a solid 6 years, and currently I'm practicing in Ireland as a mental health nurse. I've been in Ireland for the period of 6 months, and I wish to also help most people to also have more knowledge about Ireland process. My YouTube channel is Nurse Momo, so you can equally go on my YouTube channel and then get to know more of Ireland process and also get abreast with all the opportunities that Ireland got to offer you.
So you guys know that it's like the trend is now on UK. It's like the UK. Now we are trying to shift focus from the UK. We've got other beautiful countries that's got better opportunities or similar opportunities like the UK, and that is the purpose of this channel and the purpose of this video. The focus is not always going to be about the UK. And so once I've got somebody from Ireland, she's got experience there, she's going to be telling us a lot. So this video is going to be packed, and I would encourage you guys to watch the video up until the end if you want more details. And also I'll leave the link to Nurse Momo's channel in my description box. She's also got a Telegram page.
Yes,
she's got a Telegram page that she helps people, to join the Ireland, program. So I'll leave the link to the Telegram as well in my description box. So to begin with, I would like to ask you, why did you decide to move to Ireland? Hearing the fact that we are in the UK, the US, now Australia is the new-ish, New Zealand and the rest. But you chose to go to Northern Ireland. Oh, sorry, you chose to go to Ireland, not Northern Ireland. Why did you take this decision?
Okay, when you first started, you were talking about the fact that UK was the ish, I think it was the same thing for me. My first option was the UK, so I wrote IELTS and I didn't get the UK band, but I got that of Ireland. I always want to be sincere. That's when I was like, okay, then let me just probe more into Ireland and then see some of the benefits that Ireland would equally offer. Apart from that, being a mother, I was looking at a place that was much peaceful. I'm not saying that UK is not peaceful, but I was looking at a very friendly environment, that could also be very beneficial to my kids and my entire family, So I searched into Ireland. I got to know about some of the benefits of working in Ireland as a nurse. Example, if I'm going to be paid based on my experience, why won't I also try this opportunity? When I told some friends about Ireland, they were like, I don't think you really have to go for it. Just keep on writing that out till you make it. Because Ireland process, you wait for 1 year and 2 years. I was like, something, our paths are always different. Let me take this route, and I believe God has a purpose for me. And I believe that's true because today I'm here with you and I'm talking. I believe if I was to be in the UK, I wouldn't even have this opportunity, So I'm really grateful that I took this opportunity.
Yeah, okay. So we'll talk about the benefits in a minute. But before then, you made a point about the fact that the IELTS requirement is different from the UK. And I know most people don't know about this. So can you briefly touch on it? What is the IELTS requirement for Ireland?
So with Ireland, the English proficiency test accepted is either the OET or the IELTS.
So they also accept OET.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. So with Ireland, the only thing is that it's the same. Looking at UK and Ireland is the same thing, but in Ireland, just that the 6.5. UK, they only want the 6.5 in writing. That's what makes the difference. Okay. So for Ireland, the 6.5 can be in any one of the models. So it can be in either reading, either writing, either listening or speaking. So far as you have 3 bands, which is 7, and just one 6.5. So that's what makes the difference.
So let me just use this opportunity to explain what she's just said. So when you want to come to the UK, you need to get a band 7 in listening, 7 in reading, 7 in speaking, and at least a 6.5 in writing, which is fixed. You can't do nothing about it. But in Ireland, you just need to get about 7 in any 3 models, and at least about 6.5 in any model, not necessarily writing. So it is not rigid, it is not fixed. Once you get 777 and 6.5, irrespective of the modules, you qualify to go to Ireland. And that is a big difference, because somebody can write and get maybe like a 6.5 in reading and get a 7. It happened to me. I had a 6.5 in reading and a 7.5 in writing. Do you get? So if somebody get this result, they can choose to go to Ireland and rather than coming to the UK. So it's a very good decision that you made. So my next question is, how does one go to the process of becoming an Irish nurse? Let's say you've got your IELTS. What next do you need to do? What is the process like?
Okay. Yeah, so before I continue with that, I have to establish that with the Ireland process, okay, you can begin the process even when you don't even have your IELTS bank score. That's one thing about it. Yes, but with the recent changes, in a sense that at first it really takes a very long time for you to go through the NMBI process. That's registering with the Nurses and Midwifery Board of Ireland. Okay, but now the process is very, very fast. People are getting their decision letter within 1 month, within 6 weeks. So now I always encourage people to get that of the English proficiency test requirement first before they proceed with the registering with the Nurses and Midwifery Board of Ireland. So going into the process, assuming that you now have your IELTS band score or maybe your OET band score, you now have to register with the Nurses and Midwifery Board of Ireland. Okay, so that's when you get to create an account with them. You go through the process. You have to submit some documents, which I also have a video of that on my YouTube channel. Sorry. So when you submit all those documents, you are required to pay an amount of 350 euros, okay, to the board. Then you get registered, and then you wait for a decision to be made. Okay, so whilst waiting for the decision, you go through a series of process to assess your documents. In the case where they need more documents, they'll ask you to bring it. Okay, and then after everything, then there will be a decision that will come out. So the decisions are usually in four ways. It's either an acceptance, where you get let's say straight registration into the system. You don't have to go through any examination.
Yeah.
And then you might also have a decision that is we call it the compensation measure. That's your decision letter, where you are asked to finish a training or maybe an examination. You have to complete an examination. It's either you write what you guys say, the OSCE or the CBT.
Yeah.
We call it the RCSI. Okay. It's either you complete that, or the last decision. Sorry, I said the decision was 4. It's actually 3. The last decision is what we call the refusal. That's when after they finish assessing all your documents and it doesn't really meet up with us with their system, and then they will then tell you that no, we can't register you because your educational requirement doesn't meet up with our system. So after assuming that you are now completed with the entire registration with the Nurses and Midwifery Board of Ireland, that's when you now have to now go for it and then look for a job. Okay, so you now have to get an employer and then submit your documents and all that. And after you are done with all that, you can now go ahead. Definitely you go through an interview. And when you pass, you can now move on to the next stage, which will be the visa application and everything. And then you can now come into the country to now complete your examination, either the RCSI or the adaptation. So the adaptation is more like the clinicals, what we call the clinicals at home.
Yeah.
Okay, you go to the clinical setting, then you have a supervisor that's going to supervise you for you to get used to their clinical setting. Then after a period, it's actually between a period of 6 to 12 weeks. After that period, if your supervisor thinks that you are very good, we call it the preceptor. If they think you are very good, then they will now mark you competent. Then you can now register into the system and also become an Irish nurse. But if you have to write the aptitude test, okay, which is the RCSI, you now have to come in and then prepare, and then you have to now undergo the examination. And when you pass, then you can now register to become an Irish nurse. So that's how I've tried to make it very brief, so that it becomes very simple. Yeah.
Does it really matter whether you are a diploma or a degree nurse?
So with Ireland, the training should be 3 to 4 years. So anything below 3 years is not accepted. So even if it's your diploma or your degree, it's accepted. But your educational qualification does not determine how much you're going to take. We should all remember that it is your years of experience that really matters.
So wait, that brings me that brings me to the pay structure. So it means that based on your experience, it doesn't really matter. So not like the UK. Once you enter the UK, irrespective of your experience or everything, you start from band 5. Then later on, like after 3 to 6 months, if you feel like you're more confident, you can go for more higher positions. So in Ireland, it doesn't work like that. How does it work?
No. So in Ireland, when you look for employment, okay, and then you finally pass your interview and all that, you now have to verify your years of experience. When we talk about verifying your years of experience, assuming that after when I completed, I told them I have 6 years of experience. You now have to prove that indeed you have 6 years of experience. So they are now going to send you some documents that you have to give to the HR of your hospital. Okay, and then you have to verify that yes, you've worked for this number of years. So when you do that and you get people, not just anybody at all signing, but it has to be a proof that it's really from your hospital, and then from your hospital that you're working with, that's when you're able to now verify that yes, I've worked for this number of years. So with the pay structure, it's that the government sector, they have a range, of years of experience, So when you have no experience at all, it starts from I think 31,000 and some and more. So it goes upwards. Euros, yes, it goes upward. Yeah, but for let's say the private sector, some private sector likes to pay from what we call the enhanced skill rates. So for the HSC, when you work for at least 1 year, then you can now apply for the enhanced skill rate where you are being put on a higher pay rate. But most of the private hospitals would like to put people straight on enhanced skill rates to encourage more people to buy into working in the private sectors. So assuming that maybe I don't have any years of experience and at the HSC I'm going to be paid, let's say 31,200, but when I go to the private hospital I might get, let's say, 40,000 instead of the 31,000. Yes, that's the private hospitals. But with the nursing home usually ranges from 18.5 to 21 euros per hour. That's with the nursing. The nursing homes are usually always the same, but the difference is the HSC and the private hospital. But the most important thing that we need to bear in mind is that with the HSC, that's the government hospital, their premiums are very juicy. Example, working the night premiums, when you're working on nights from 12 a.m., you get double the pay that you usually make, which is very interesting because the private sector might just give you some few cents or at least some percentage on that, but the government sector will give you more. So it all boils down to the same amount. Even though you're getting more salary at the private sector, the government sector is also giving you more incentives.
So let's like generally on an average, how much are you expected to be paid like per month after taxes and everything? So
let's say that
without overtime,
extra hours.
Without extra hours.
Without extra. So I wouldn't be able to mention a fixed amount, but let's bear in mind that it's also influenced by years of experience. So let's say averagely per month you can click let's say 3,000 and over.
Euros,
yes. Hey. Some people, let's say if you have lots of years of experience, some people are able to go as far as 5,000.
And this is without overtime.
Some people without overtime, some people with overtime inclusive.
We are all coming to Ireland.
You are not coming to Ireland. I know you are not.
We will come. We will shock you.
So mostly it's with overtime. Then you are able to clock that amount of I've been here and I know how much I'm able to earn, with overtime. So I know how much people are earning with better years of experience.
Wow.
especially if especially if they go on night duties alone. So
Mm.
those, let's say, at the HSC sector, going only on nights are
Mm.
really making good money. Let's say 2,500 every fortnight. That's every 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know, so that's it.
Wow. So is it worth it? Would you say, would
Yes.
you advise
Yeah.
somebody to take this decision? Is it worth it?
Why not? It is. Why not? Especially with people with lots of experience. I have people with 13 years of experience, friends, and then the family with 13 years of experience, and then they go to the UK. I'm not saying the UK is bad. The UK is perfect. I wanted to go to the UK myself. But the fact that you get to start from band 5, I think it's not fair. Okay. I believe that it's not fair. But I know that there's other benefits also working in the UK, because they are able to do agencies straight away. Let's say after six months and all that. But in Ireland, you only have to work with one employer. That's one thing.
Right.
For
So
a period of 2 years.
Agency.
No, you can't do agency. You can't do agency, because when you come in, okay, with your residency permit, you are required to get a work permit, what we call the critical skill permit. So with the critical skill permit, it gives you permission to work with just one employer for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So then after the 2 years, then you can now get your stamp 4, what we call the permanent residency. I know that in the UK, you have to wait for a period of 5 years.
5 years.
But for us, just 2 years. Yeah. So then just 2 years. So after that, then you can now do your agency work and all that. So that's the difference. So I know people in the UK are equally making good money. And the pound is, very good.
You think so?
Yes.
Anyway, so how are you able to assist people? Let's say somebody comes to me, which obviously I know they will. They'll be in my DM. They'll be like, "Oh, Becca, we want to talk to Nurse Momo." They've watched the interview. They won't follow what we've said. They will still come to my DM. Want to message Nurse Momo, want to private chat with Nurse Momo. How are you able to assist such people?
Okay, so I'll say that I have my Instagram page, Nurse Momo 1. They can equally follow me on that, and then also come to my DM. I'll try as much as possible to answer everyone, which I've been doing. And then when I started the process, I had a lot of challenge, and I had to do my own research, do a lot of digging, take a lot of friends from India and also the Philippines, because they are very good. That's where I got to know about Telegram, and then I joined lots of Telegram pages. And then I finally got to know of an African page, okay, which is head by a very lovely Nigerian lady. She's called Nurse Goodness. I don't mind mentioning her name here. So through all that, she was like a role model. And then I also decided to create a page for Ghanaians, where I'm able to also groom Ghanaians. The page is not very open in the sense that we don't want to have just everybody at all coming on the page and then posting anything at all. We want to make sure that anybody on the page has the same goal, okay? And then we can be much disciplined. So for me to help people, I do a lot of coaching. And also I was doing a lot of coaching, helping people. I had members also helping me out. Currently, it's very difficult because the numbers keep increasing. So I'm also running a mentoring program, okay, where people sign up just with a little token, and then I have people taking them through the process, checking their documents, making sure that they submit the right documents, because if you don't submit the right document, that's when your process tends to take longer, because you are going to have queries upon queries. Okay, yeah. So we have that structure in place. So upon talking to most of my people, I think that my new plan is also to open a new Telegram page just for anybody at all that wants to join, to ask some few questions. Then from there, if you have the right IELTS requirements or the OET requirements, then we can add you to the Ghanaian page or the African nurses page for those who want to go into Ireland. So that would be like a medium that you are able to prove yourself before we add you to the main pages as well. Yeah.
So you mentioned something like when you come into Ireland, by 2 years, you move from the critical whatever visa, and then you are straight away, you are a resident of Ireland, like a citizen. What?
No.
Okay.
So when you come into the country with your stamp 1, because under the stamp 1, that's a residence permit. Okay. You are required to also hold a work permit if you have the stamp 1. So with that, your employer is going to apply for that for you, which is €1,000. They do that, most of the employers. And then you get what we call No, you don't have. Most of the employers pay for those things. Then you have to, then you now get your critical skill permit. So the critical skill permit gives you the permission to just work with just one employer, as I said earlier on. Then after your 2 years, of working with the employer, you can now apply for what we call the stamp 4. So with the stamp 4, that is what we call the permanent residency. So you now when you get that, you can now stay in the country and then work with 2 employers, or you don't have to. You're not bound with just one employer. So after that, you can now, so after you've stayed in the country for a period of 60 months, then you can now go ahead and now apply for your citizenship, which is after 5 years. So you get your citizenship after you've stayed in the country for 5 years. And of course, if you've been of a very good behavior.
Yes. Definitely. So after 5 years, you can show that be a citizen.
Yes, you can apply.
That's good. That's good. So my next question is, in total, how many exams would you need to write to become an Irish nurse for somebody from overseas? How many in total? How many exams are they expected to be writing to get their license to practice in Ireland?
Okay, so in an instance where you get the decision letter, you are being asked to either write what we call the aptitude test, or for you to undergo adaptation. So with the aptitude test, it's just similar to your CBT and your OSCE. So and that is also determined by your employer. Your employer is the one who usually tells you that I want you to do aptitude tests. You can equally come into the country if you want to write the exams yourself. But remember, you have to pay an amount of 2,500 euros if you want to come to the country yourself and then write the exams yourself. So people always prefer to come through an employer. So the employer gets to pay that for you, and then you just have to write the exams. So assuming you're coming to the country to write an aptitude test, you do what you call the RCSI, the theory parts, and then the OSCE stations. I think the OSCE stations, it's 14 stations. Yeah. So for me, I came in and then I went through the adaptation. Previously for psych nurses and also for midwives, you are required to do only adaptation. It's just this year that they brought that of the RCSI for psych nurses. So the adaptation is just like clinical, as I said earlier on. You work in a clinical setting under supervision, and your preceptor coaches you, so you are able to pass. And if you are not able to pass after, let's say, the 12 weeks, it can be extended, for you to finally get yourself well involved in their clinical setting. I know some people do fail the adaptation, but that is very rare. It's not something that is very popular, because adaptation is much comfortable, even though you have to prove yourself every day. It's like working with someone, having to prove yourself every day. It's tedious though, and the examination is equally tedious. I can't say one is much easier than the other. So it's just 2 examinations, either adaptation or aptitude test.
Okay, so you do either adaptation or aptitude, and then your IELTS. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's good. Oh, I forgot to ask, are you only able to assist mental health nurses, or you can assist midwives, general nurses?
Okay, so I assist all divisions, general nurses, midwives, public health nurses. I assist everyone. And all those on my page have all the divisions. When I started this alone, I was coaching people alone, no matter their division. I was just taking them through, and the more people were being queried, the more I got to know more about the system and some of the things not to do, some of the things to include, and all those things to make sure that you have a very smooth process.
Before we round everything up, what time do you think is the best time to bring your family along? Obviously, I know you've got your family, but they are not with you at the moment. You've been there for 6 months. Looking at the environment that you went into and the kind of things that you had to go through to get a license to practice and to settle in, what advice would you give to people with families, and what time do you think is best for them to bring their dependents?
Okay, so I know, thank you, Beck. I know most people have this notion that when you go to Ireland, it takes a very long time to bring your family and all that. And if not that I came into Ireland, I wouldn't really know the truth. I'll say that with Ghanaians and Nigerians, it's been a very big battle for us, because we in Ghana, we do not have like an Irish embassy. So we apply through the VFS, which is a courier service that takes our documents to the Irish embassy in Nigeria, before we can finally get our visa. So we are under the Nigerian embassy. We are like associate country. Yes, but our brothers from the Zimbabwe, South Africa, I know Zimbabweans, they apply in South Africa. Okay, so they with that place is very, very fast. People apply for their family within 3 weeks, they're able to get their visa, and then their family is able to join. Okay, but that just to clarify, to clear the air, in the aspect of when are you able to bring your family, I would say that for critical skill workers, okay, because we fall under the critical skill workers, you are able to bring your family immediately you complete your entire process, in the sense that immediately you're able to pass your exams, you're able to get your papers, let's say your work permits and all that, you can now apply straight for your family. Okay. Yeah, because when you come into the country, the visa that you come in with, what we call the atypical working scheme, it's a examination visa that allows you to stay in the country for a period of 3 months. Yes, yeah, temporary visa. So allows you to stay in the country for just some few months. And after you are done with all that, you can now attach your critical skill permit and then apply for further extension of your stay in the country. Okay, then whilst you are done with that, you can immediately apply for your family too as well.
Any final words for my viewers? Anything you would like to tell my viewers before we bring this interview to an end?
Okay. With what's really on my heart, I just want to tell everybody that in this life we have the opportunity to dare to dream. Don't let anything block your way. If you have a dream, just go for it. I quite remember myself last year lying on my couch watching all the videos that Becca has been showing, and then enjoying her taking me through UK, picturing myself in UK. Today I'm in Ireland, and I have this opportunity with her. And I believe that you can also have the same opportunity.
Yeah.
Go for it. If you have any dream, if you have anything that you really want to do it, keep on trusting God and know that definitely you can achieve it.
Thank you very much. It's been amazing talking to you. You are an embodiment of wisdom and you've shared a lot. And I am so appreciative for coming out and reaching out to me and, telling people how the process is like. And I tell you what, this is going to benefit people. Definitely, people are going to benefit from it. And I'll leave the links to the channel in my description box. Thank you so much for your time,
thank you,
effort, and for everything. I don't take it for granted. I really do appreciate. And for your selfless service to mankind and to humanity. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
A lovely day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you have a very big heart. And I really want to appreciate you, because when I was sending you the email, I wasn't too sure. I have this friend. I also met her through my Telegram page. She's called Sakina. I have to mention her name for her to be happy, because she loves you so much, so much. And when I told her, she was just jumping. I was like, yeah, I'm going to host your favorite YouTuber.
Wow.
So thank you. And you have also been a very huge inspiration to a lot of us. I really appreciate you. I'm sure if you go on your channel, I know you have it's very difficult to know most of your comments, but my name was Lucinda Otu during those times, and I used to comment a lot. And I really want to appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. I reached out to a lot of people, but you're the same person. I was like, yes, let's do this. And I really appreciate it. Yeah. God really bless you. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I know that you're going to do more of this.
Thank you very much.